Hey Corbin, welcome to Crypto Unstacked. Great to have you on.
Yeah, thanks
Um,
for having me.
I think we know each other very well, so there's no introductions needed on that side. But great to have you here. And yeah, just the first question, I guess, is can you tell us a bit about the story of how this partnership came together and why this was the right timing and how this all
Yeah,
went down?
yeah. I mean, you and I have known each other for it feels like years now. Like
Yeah,
either we've known each other in passing, like we've never met in real life, but we seem to always cross paths online. And I
yeah,
think you've known Roger for many years, and I know he was always saying like, "Oh, you got to meet this Mark Lamb guy. Super smart guy." So yeah, your name was always coming up in passing at the office, and I think the most recent I guess the most recent interaction that kind of got this thing moving was primarily on Telegram, where where you'd reached out and said, it would be pretty sweet is if we had a nice exchange button in the bottom of the Bitcoin.com wallet. And I remember being like, yeah, that would be pretty sweet. We kind of need something like that. And
yeah.
I think that kind of got the ball rolling a little bit on moving this project forward. So yeah, maybe I'll let you kind of do the big announcement on this call and kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so just for those who haven't seen the press and surrounding articles, we've just announced that Bitcoin.com and CoinFlex are entering into a very large partnership. Exchange.bitcoin.com is going to be effectively CoinFlex, and it'll be CoinFlex's technology, liquidity, order books, account system, etc. And it'll be branded as Bitcoin.com, and we'll be providing that together in concert with the Bitcoin.com guys uh, to their users, our users, effectively, the
Yeah.
combined user base. And we're also going to be, this is perhaps even bigger, is putting FlexUSD and the AMM, the CoinFlex AMM product, into the Bitcoin.com wallet, which which I think we're really excited about because we're really excited about all of it, but Bitcoin.com, for the people who are listening on the CoinFlex side who may not be as familiar with the Bitcoin.com side, Bitcoin.com is one of the biggest domains in crypto. It's one of the top three, sometimes top two, or sometimes number one wallet in crypto. And and it's got huge users, huge downloads, 25 million users, absolutely huge amount of activity. And so what really CoinFlex has done in the last year is built up a lot of products that are very unique in the market in providing yield, and a lot of trading products that are also unique in the way they trade. And so now it's for us as a business, it's really just time to get more users, get more people using
Mhm.
these products. We've kind
Yeah.
of been in a year of lots of product development and lots of iterations. And we're still going to be doing lots of product development and iterations. We have a huge team that's focused on that. So that's not ending. But now the focus is really on marketing and growing the user base. So we're really excited about this partnership with Bitcoin.com and how it'll basically take our user base from where it's at now to, I think, a completely different level. So, and I
Yeah, yeah,
think
and I think
yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, I think on like the Bitcoin.com level, like we saw this as a huge opportunity with, I mean, beyond just getting access to a professional like high frequency trader experience that anyone can use, trading any cryptocurrency. Um, beyond that, I think the big thing was like the AMM plus. For those of you guys who haven't actually had a chance to use that, being able to kind of do the same thing you would do on Uniswap, but using a traditional exchange with being able to fund these liquidity pairs. It's a huge opportunity for people to earn interest on their crypto. And I think what's cool about this feature is that there's a lot of these different yield pools and different LPs that you can do through DeFi. The big issue we have, and something we're always trying to tackle at Bitcoin.com, is basically how can we make that experience as user friendly as possible for new people. So obviously, given that we've got the Bitcoin.com domain name, we get a lot of new users coming through, and they're not sure where to start. And if we hit them with too much, they tend to drop off. And for better or worse, DeFi still is not the most user friendly thing for new folks. It's kind of like a little further down the user journey in terms of skill level required to do the things that you want to do with your money. Um, what I like about the AMM product that CoinFlex has built is basically you can take your crypto. So let's say you only have BTC, or let's say you only have BCH, and you want to just one click deposit it into CoinFlex or into now the Bitcoin.com exchange. You can have fund LP, and you can say, I want to fund LP on the BTC USD pair, and anytime someone's trading BTC USD, you have the potential of using your capital that you've locked up there to earn fees. And it's just a great user experience where it only requires one deposit. So for those of you who've maybe tried doing the same thing in DeFi, if you try to do this on Ethereum to a Uniswap LP, sometimes 2, 3 transactions, and then if you're actually trying to claim any rewards, or if you're trying to
Yeah.
withdraw to get out of it, you're losing a lot of your revenue that you've actually built up over the time that you've had this liquidity locked up. So on Ethereum, yeah, you might be doing $50 to $100 transactions just to get your coins locked up in this pool, and then when you try to withdraw, you're in that same position of having to spend potentially another 50 to 100 or more just to kind of get out. But the AMM product has that same capability, but with fewer on-chain transactions, since you're just doing one on-chain transaction to get it into CoinFlex's custody system, which is banking level security, highly secure. And yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity for anyone to use their crypto that they're planning on holding anyways to generate them some revenue. So yeah, I think it's a huge opportunity for ordinary users and people that are just sitting on crypto and know they're not going to sell. They don't have any interest in selling, but they'd like to earn more. And I think it's kind of all about opportunities and options. And I think this is a great one.
Awesome. Yeah, couldn't agree more. And so what do you think this means for the broader Bitcoin.com user base? Like what changes are they going to see? What do you think this means for them?
The big thing is going to be, I think, access to the FlexUSD. So, for those of you guys who maybe are coming in from the Bitcoin.com space, FlexUSD is an interest earning stablecoin. So you've got things like USDT Tether, you've got USDC, which is one of the more popular coins in DeFi. But FlexUSD has really come out in the last year, especially on the SmartBCH front, but as well as on Ethereum. But the cool thing on that's available now is the BCH SLP version of FlexUSD, and this is available today. If you go try it out in the Bitcoin.com wallet, you can go swap. If you're holding any USDT, you can swap inside the Bitcoin.com app into FlexUSD. And with that FlexUSD, as long as you're holding it inside a wallet, one that supports SLP, then you'll get these regular airdrops that basically pay you interest. So you can earn, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's like 10 to 20% APY. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty incredible rate of return, and really the reason for that return is simply we're cutting out a lot of the middlemen that are involved in a lot of the other lending platforms in crypto. So
Yeah.
those lending
Well, and
platforms
that's what it's all about in crypto. Just getting rid of those middlemen and doing our best to kind of get as much profit and get as much utility to the end user.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that was one thing we really liked about Bitcoin.com is when we looked at organizations that really share the dream of crypto of really maximizing economic freedom for end users, maximizing their economic output, their profits, their end goal. It's an organization that I think similar, very very similar to us, and like-minded 100% in terms of not fleecing the user, giving them the best experience, giving them the best UX, giving them the best amount of freedom, and so we're very aligned. And that was a big thing for me in partnering with the wonderful team over there.
That was the same thing we were saying too. Is we do our best to kind of make sure that all the partnerships we work with are people that not only we like their products and their tech, but we like them as people and individuals. And I think when we got to meet you and the rest of the CoinFlex team, everyone was like, man, these guys are on the same page as us. We're talking the same language, kind of have these similar values in terms of how can we support and bring about more economic freedom to the world. And it just felt like there was a lot of this good compatibility, and I think that's very much required in any major business decision. And I think in particular, one that's going to be so tightly integrated with regards to both an exchange platform, yield earning opportunities, and a non-custodial wallet. I think there's some pretty cool things that Mark and I have been coming up with that we think we can do over the next year with regards to kind of making this, a nice, clean kind of non-custodial, custodial hybrid experience for users who want in on that high frequency trading, or want in on, additional yield opportunities, but also want to control their coins, which I think we all agree is very important in this space.
It's extremely important. Yeah, I'm excited about some of the non-public stuff we've got planned. It's pretty cool. And so, what do you think this partnership means for like the CoinFlex users and the CoinFlex ecosystem? Like, should CoinFlex users be expecting any changes? Is it basically business as usual? What do you think this means for that side of the equation?
Yeah, I think for the CoinFlex users, obviously they can continue trading on CoinFlex.com. It's still, it's not like CoinFlex.com is going away. This is, very much like both exchange platforms are going to continue to exist. There will be, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's going to be some shared liquidity, between the
Yep,
Bitcoin.com exchange and
completely.
CoinFlex.com. So yeah, this is like, all that's really happening for CoinFlex is that we're expecting probably deeper markets. That's probably the biggest thing, is that you'll have deeper markets across all pairs is the hope. Potentially,
That's
as a result of Bitcoin.com users, more liquidity coming in as a result of the AMM feature. You'll have more people to trade with. You'll have, yeah, I guess the one thing is, if you're looking for a non-custodial wallet, of course, we would encourage you guys to come try out, the Bitcoin.com wallet and take it for a spin. We've got, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, ERC20 tokens. We don't have the full depth of coins that are offered on CoinFlex. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You guys have over
we do.
dozens of
Yeah,
different cryptos, and we
40
don't fully
40
support all
plus.
of them.
Yeah.
40 plus, yeah. So we're working our way down the list and doing our best to support as many cryptocurrencies as we can within the Bitcoin.com wallet. But yeah, I think despite that, it's a great opportunity to try out, a non-custodial wallet if you haven't made that leap from custody to non-custody. But for the most part, for CoinFlex users, it's pretty well business as usual. With the exception of just deeper markets is probably my guess.
So what will be ready today? What's live now? And in terms of um, Bitcoin.com and exchange.bitcoin.com and the CoinFlex features, what's a future thing? What's a future wallet thing? What's a today thing?
Yeah. So you can go to Bitcoin.com today and access the exchange, and this exchange is powered by CoinFlex. You can trade spot, leverage, perpetuals. You can fund yield. You can do this all through the website through Bitcoin.com. In addition to that, we'll also have Bitcoin.com wallet with support for FlexUSD. And this is going to be available immediately. So you can do this already today. You can swap from any cryptocurrency that's supported in the Bitcoin.com wallet into FlexUSD, start earning 10 to 20% yield on your stable coins, which is very cool. In addition to that, we'll have some links out from within the wallet to the exchange platform as well. So we're going to be driving some traffic there. Yeah, I think the big thing is just being able to have that full exchange experience, whether you're trading spot, whether you're going after some crazy leverage, or whether you're just taking out some futures and things like that. I think there's the cool thing with the CoinFlex trading experience is that they've got this full featured trading desk. It's whether you're a super advanced trader who's staring at charts every day and this is your life, you've got that support. Or if you're just someone who's coming in to kind of do some ordinary spot trades and just getting a taste of more cryptocurrencies, yeah, kind of an easy opportunity to do that right through Bitcoin.com. Yeah, I think in terms of future integrations, we're going to be working very closely with Mark and his team. I think we're also watching very closely things like the SmartBCH market. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've got the SmartBCH bridge as well. So
Yep.
CoinFlex was the first bridge to SmartBCH. Bitcoin.com exchange will be the second. Of course, it's powered by CoinFlex, but the benefit is, we'll have people coming to Bitcoin.com and having this immediate access to bridging their BCH over
With
to
no fees.
SmartBCH. No fees. Yeah, it's very
No
cool.
fees at all. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. And
Yeah.
yeah, now that sort of leads me to my next question, which is what are you thinking about Smart BCH, and maybe personally, as well as Bitcoin.com, if there's anything you guys can talk about there,
Yeah.
or even just your own personal thoughts about it.
Yeah, I think you and I can geek out about SmartBCH for a while here. This was the one question I was like looking forward to. Like
Yeah,
we could talk about this for a while. Yeah, I mean I've been kind of fully SmartBCH pilled.
yep,
I was an early user, and when there wasn't really a whole lot going on, it was like a fresh new EVM market with like very little going on, and it was like, okay, well, who's going to be the first DEX to kind of launch?
yep,
Who's going to be the first NFT to launch? You guys, some of you guys may have seen the poolside puffers. I did an NFT project early on in the Smart BCH days just because I wanted to test it out. I had played around with some smart contracts on Ethereum and was disgusted to find out that to launch my smart contract, it was going to cost at the time it was like $1,500 to launch a smart contract, and I was like, I mean, I want to play around with code, but I don't know if I like burning money like that. Like, I'm not.
decentralizing
I don't.
finance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. This is not the future of money I signed up for
yeah,
$1,500 smart contracts. I was like,
to test, to test.
yeah, just to test it out, just to have a little fun, and just to learn,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
I mean, yeah, of course, I could have gone and learned on like a Rinkeby network, but and you can do that. It's just there's something to be said about getting something live on mainnet to be like, okay, I want to know if I'm not an idiot. If I can I do this? Is this
completely.
working?
Yeah,
So Smart BCH was like, yeah, an easy way for me to launch a smart contract. You can go visit puffers.cash. They're all sold out already, but we should have those on the secondary market pretty soon. We've been talking to the team at oasis.cash. They've been working on this beautiful looking NFT marketplace. I think the big one they're working on right now is the cats NFT. But I think after they finish their cats auctions, and they'll be opening it up to more NFT projects. So that's the one that we're kind of waiting on. But yeah, you can go to puffers.cash. There is a secondary market as well available over at ba.net. They were one of the early NFT marketplaces as well. So yeah, you can go buy these puffers and play around with NFTs for pretty cheap. But yeah, I think like the entire Smart BCH ecosystem, it's still young, but despite it being young, it's moved very fast.
I guess there's two questions on the Smart BCH side, because I think we've covered a lot of the Bitcoin.com, CoinFlex stuff. Um, One is like, what do you think about where Smart BCH needs to go, and then I guess the second part is like, how do you see Smart BCH relative to other chains and other EVM ecosystems? Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, no, I'm happy to answer that one. That I think like the first and foremost thing that I think beyond just Smart BCH, but the wider BCH people need to take notice, because I do see that there's kind of two segments within the Bitcoin Cash community. There's the people that are Smart BCH build, and then there's people that are like, DeFi is hard. This is a lot of work. MetaMask is hard to set up, and they're just kind of like they're OG BCH people, but they're totally yeah, just kind of they're skeptical, or they're
yep,
maybe just not feeling encouraged to do it for whatever reason.
yep,
And I think because of that, there's still part of the BCH community that's like, well, why should we need to speed up this hard fork to support, decentralized bridges and get the Shawgate going? So for those of you guys who maybe aren't following this, there's currently a bridge to Smart BCH. It's less decentralized as could be, and I think what everyone wants Smart BCH to be is independent of any company, including Bitcoin.com or CoinFlex. We want everyone to use Smart BCH and have this interoperability with other EVM chains. And the best way for us to do that is to have a decentralized bridge. And the guys at Smart BCH, I think it's Wang Kui.
Blankly, yeah,
Yeah, his team has been working on this idea called Shawgate, but it does require an update to the BCH protocol. So that's on L1 protocol update, which means one of the planned hard forks needs to include some changes to support this Shawgate capability. The sooner we have that, the more decentralized Smart BCH becomes, and the more valuable it becomes to the wider EVM marketplace.
yeah.
That includes things like FTM, Avalanche, Polygon, you name it. So I think that's kind of like one of the things I think Smart BCH people need to push, but also regular BCH people that maybe haven't been Smart BCH build I think they need to kind of hear people out, maybe hop on SmartBCH, take it for a spin, try to get familiar with this. I think there's a lot of people in BCH that are maybe laggards in the EVM space because they've kind of seen Ethereum fees, and there's a high fee sensitivity in BCH community. Anything that is charging more than a couple bucks, they're just like, I don't know, doesn't feel right, doesn't feel good with my ethos.
Yeah.
And I get that, but at the same time, it's like it's undeniable that EVM is where crypto is right now, and it's where it's going to be for the next few years.
What is
It's like
EVM?
the EVM is the Ethereum virtual machine. It's basically the spine that Ethereum uses. It's the spine that Avalanche uses. Or Avalanche, is it C chain? I think so. They've got
Yeah.
several chains.
Yeah.
But then there's FTM, same thing. Polygon. They're all kind of using this Ethereum virtual machine to allow users to launch smart contracts and have this beautiful Turing complete language that allows people to program money. It's easier to program money. We've heard about this kind of feature in BCH for a while with like things like cash scripts, which are cool. The difficulty here is though that where layer one BCH, programmable money it's less feature complete than something like an EVM chain.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things you can do on BCH with cash scripts are more difficult, more and severely limited in comparison
Yes.
to what you can do with an EVM chain.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I like about EVM and what's going on here is um, EVM has kind of won a developer network effect. If you think about
Yeah.
languages like Java and HTML, Rust, Ruby, C++, like all these languages, there's a bunch of them, and they all compete for each other. And for many use cases, JavaScript has simply won. For many use cases, Java has won, C++ has won.
Mhm.
And so the big question I think crypto is trying to answer is, for smart contracts and programmable money, has EVM won?
Yeah.
And I think there's a pretty strong argument that at least so far it has.
Yeah.
Definitely 90% of the activity already is happening on EVM
Yeah. You and I have talked about
blockchains.
this, but I seriously think that EVM is like the USB 2.0
Yeah,
of crypto. It's like it's not going anywhere. It's the most kind of adopted feature complete piece of hardware, or I guess it's software that you can kind of like plug and play into, and it's just expected that it works.
yeah,
And you know, I'm sure there's going to be great upgrades to this idea, and there's going to be new blockchains that come out and do things better and more securely and more decentralized. Um, but I think for now, EVM is like it's the JavaScript of
yeah,
crypto,
yeah.
and I think the network effect is so critical. And we've seen that with BCH. You get people that are super interested in playing around with some cache scripts or doing some doing some like really hardcore script programming, but the network effect to actually support these things and to grow out businesses around them, it's more difficult. It's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Whereas like Ethereum has really blazed the trail to make things like decentralized exchanges, to make staking and earning yield
Lending. Yeah,
kind of vanilla. It's not even complicated stuff. It's like at this point, any Joe Schmo can go take a smart contract, fork it, relabel it, and support it. And yeah, you do have to have some chops and some engineering chops to kind of do all of this, but it's not rocket science anymore. Whereas if you're dealing with scripting language with Bitcoin, to do even part of that, you need a gigabrain, and you need a
yeah,
gigabrain, and you don't have that network effect of people supporting the things that you've built, and there's not a lot of dev packages to make that easier for new people to do what you did to kind of compete with you. So there's this constant uphill battle on building on BCH layer 1, and the same would apply for BTC layer 1. This is like just the hard truth is EVM is easier for devs to work with. Way more open source tooling out there, and we've seen this growth in other L2 projects and sidechains. The tremendous growth of Polygon, FTM, Avalanche. They wouldn't be where they are now if they had chosen to not have an EVM chain, right? It's It's kind of a no-brainer now. And the fact that BCH now has the opportunity, or already has this working thing of a hybrid proof of stake, proof of
Yep.
work chain that doesn't have a separate coin, which is, I think, the coolest part, where, yeah, you can say Polygon is like a side chain of Ethereum. Well, it's got its own token. So it's kind of in competition with Ethereum in some ways. And with SmartBCH, it doesn't have its own token. It's just BCH being used as the gas, which is pretty cool.
And I think it's worth noting, the Polygon guys are trying to do great things, but at the end of the day, they did the network consensus. The people that governed that network decided to change fees from 1 GUI to 30 GUI, so a 30 times increase overnight,
Yeah.
with very little notice to the market. And after that, transaction volumes dropped significantly. And when you think about that, you realize that all these blockchain networks are, at the end of the day, just as much technological innovations as they are community groups and
Yeah.
philosophical, ideological groups. And I think one of the things I like about the BCH community, that I probably most like about it, is a commitment of low fees and high scalability. And when you think about, onboarding the next billion users into crypto, it has to be people that are paying low fees, because these people don't have a lot of money. If someone has $2,000 and that's their entire net worth, and you tell them, hey, you should use smart contracts, and the fee is
Yeah.
$100, like, they're not going to spend 5% of their money on a single transaction. They're just not.
Yeah.
It's like, now you're wrecked, basically.
Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
welcome to the blockchain. So I think this, and a lot of people are, kind of get disconnected. I mean, we saw this in BTC, Bitcoin.
Mhm.
A lot of people got disconnected, and sort of disconnected from the high fees people are paying. And I think you see that in Ethereum as well. People get disconnected from the high fees that they're paying, because maybe they've made so much
Mhm.
money that they don't really care. But
Yeah.
but it is, the next billion users to DeFi, to crypto, to any of these things, are going to be people who are fee sensitive. And I think
Yeah.
Bitcoin Cash, um, is sort of a space where people are super committed to that idea. And
Yeah.
so, and I think what's nice, as you said, it is its own, sort of layer one or layer two that has no extra, it's using the existing token. And I think what you
Mhm.
get there is one of the reasons why a lot of these blockchains have this, tendency to raise fees, is because they have validators with real network fees, network costs. Um, well, our validators at scale, by and large, will be the miners. The smart BCH validators will be the miners, because the way to become a smart BCH validator is for some percentage of the hash rate to elect you. And there's, these kind of rolling every 2 weeks. It takes a snapshot of the mining votes and says, oh, the miners delegated this amount of validation to themselves on the smart BCH
Mhm.
network. And so it's really like this kind of, you said, a hybrid of proof of work, proof of stake, and it really is. It's like a delegated proof of work. And I'm into crypto in large part because there's 21 million Bitcoin, but also in large part because, proof of work. Proof of work is this kind of idea that, just because you have something doesn't mean you're going to have more of it. You gotta work for new inflation, and seniorage becomes expensive. Seniorage,
Yeah.
inflation, all this stuff becomes very difficult to do without spending a lot of money and burning a lot of electricity. And so that's one of the things I really like about Smart BCH too, is just this
Yeah.
this ruthless commitment to decentralization through proof of work, and then this ruthless commitment to, low fees through, all the technological innovations that they've had around hardware and software, and
Yeah.
and that's just an advantage of, it's been in the works for 3 years. It's been built on and being built on, and kind of being developed mostly in the dark, mostly quietly,
Mhm.
for several years. And that was sort of how they made these innovations around scaling.
Yeah. And I think one of the things, I mean, even if you're stubborn and you're like, I don't want smart BCH for some reason, you just hate EVM, to your core and you're like, this is a waste of time, and I only believe in SLP tokens, and I only believe in the proof of work chain, and no side chains are good. Even if you're like, for some reason, in this crazy segment, which you shouldn't be, I would encourage you to read more and try it out. But if you are in that segment, you still benefit from SmartBCH just existing
Yeah,
because they're burning BCH, and this is causing deflationary pressure on the layer one coin, which supports an increase in price. And if we want the price to go up of BCH, which we can argue that it doesn't, that we're not in it for the price, we're not in it for things, but the people, a lot of normal people, the people that aren't fully libertarian and aren't fully on the utility spectrum, a lot of people are just coming into crypto for a very simple reason, and that's greed. And
asymmetric upside.
yeah,
There's a
if
limited
there's
amount
a
of
if
this
there's an
stuff.
upside, yeah, if there's an upside, people want in. And this is like one of the easiest ways for new people to come in and say like, wow, okay, well, BCH is currently around $600. BTC is 60,000. Well, I can buy a lot more of this BCH, and if it 10x's, I'm going to be in a better position, sort of thing. And it's not why we should be in crypto. It's not why I think I got into crypto. It's just we all want utility, but this feature of Smart BCH, of burning BCH and causing
Yeah,
deflationary pressure, it's a net benefit. It's the same kind of economics as like an EIP one. Is it 1559? It's like
1559. Yeah,
similar. Yeah, similar idea of just burning some BCH, and yeah, in theory, this will support a greater price and makes the BCH that you own more scarce, which causes, in theory, a little bump in price. Not financial advice. Do your own research.
well, yeah, and I think if you're a DeFi user as well, if you're a crypto agnostic DeFi user, you really benefit from this experiment working out because um, let's say we are right and there is a 100x scalability gain or 80x scalability gain in Smart BCH over other EVM systems.
Mhm.
Um, what if the layer one that you're picking or the side chain that you're picking runs out and then starts having high fees? Well, if this becomes the best or the only place to go, then you're better off having it than not having it. And
Yeah.
so I think it's a benefit to BCH holders that are not using Smart BCH. It's also a benefit to DeFi and crypto users that are not even using it yet today, because as a scalability alternative, it's good to have alternatives. It's good to have competition, and so and I was thinking about those burns, and when do you celebrate the EIP 1559 burns? Because in many ways, it's an incredible sign of Ethereum's network effects that they're burning so
Mhm.
much, that so much Ethereum's being burned. For listeners who don't know, huge amounts of Ethereum are being burned. Um, and an investor friend of mine said, "Well, you should always push for low fees, and when there are low fees, you should celebrate that. And only when you've achieved low fees can you celebrate high burns. High burns are good. High burns are good. Low fees are good. Only when you have low fees can you celebrate high burns." And I was like, "Yep, that's a very simple axiom, and I completely agree with it. If Ethereum
I
had
like
low
that.
fees, the high burns that they're having, the really high amount of Ethereum that are being burned, would be something that everyone should be celebrating. Right now, I think it's a bit divisive in the Ethereum community and the DeFi communities because, as much as it celebrates, Ethereum, deflation, it's also the result of users paying really high fees. So, um,
Yeah, yeah, no, I think that's exactly it. I think you nailed it on the head there. Actually, there's been one of the most interesting things I've seen in the last 2 weeks, and something I did not expect at all with regards to Smart BCH is we've seen like this reversal adoption from people who've come to Smart BCH first and are now trying BCH
yeah,
layer one. So there's
yeah,
these people that are
of course.
probably more from BSC, maybe from Polygon. They're from the EVM chain world, and they're seeing well, I've got Smart BCH. Okay, well, I guess I can bridge it back and use BCH as well. So we've started getting support tickets and some inquiries from people from the joystick. I think it's joystick.club. So we added this little game. It was one of the hackathon projects, and from DevCon Cash, I think. and we added this little game system into the Bitcoin.com wallet, so you can go in and basically play arcade games, and you earn an SLP token. And I think they've launched a EVM token on SmartBCH, but all of their users, a lot of their users were coming in and using the Bitcoin.com wallet, because they're basically farming the SLP token to bridge it to SmartBCH, and then some of them are dumping it, or some of them are just trading it then after they've farmed the SLP and then bridged it over. But we've seen these people come in that weren't Bitcoin.com wallet users, that weren't BCH users, and they've come in purely from Binance Smart Chain, and they've started using the layer 1 BCH just to kind of support the bridging events that are going on layer 1 BCH, because a lot of the current SLP tokens are in this kind of migratory phase. Some of them are choosing to stay on SLP, but a lot of them are currently in the process of saying, well, this is our opportunity to move our SLP token into an EVM chain where we have immediate access to DEX markets, we have immediate access to liquidity for trades, and there's a higher growth opportunity. Whereas there is a bit of a ceiling with any of the SLP tokens. SLP is great. It's gotten Bitcoin Cash tokens, but it was like one step. And now we've got this new step, and a lot of people are taking the opportunity. But yeah, it's kind of cool seeing this like reversal adoption from the Smart BCH to layer 1, which is really quite cool, and something I don't think many of us expected.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I think a lot of people from these other chains are going to move over as their fees on those chains just become more crowded. If you're a whale, if you've got, $10 million farming portfolio that you can just, go to different chains and provide liquidity on, if you're one of those types of whales, like, you can go anywhere. The world's your oyster. You can go to Ethereum, you can do whatever you want. But if you're not one of those people, if you're looking to trade and do DeFi things with a couple $100s, a couple $1,000, tens of thousands of dollars, options start becoming more limited. And I mean, even tens of thousands of dollars, even $100,000 user is going to get really severely impacted by Ethereum fees. Someone was saying that in order to do something or other, you need you basically now need like 8 figures. And it's like, wait, what? Did I get that wrong? Did you mean 7? No, 8. Oh, okay. Wow, that's crazy.
It's insane.
So
it's horribly depressing. I mean, I'm optimistic and hopeful that Ethereum will figure it out with ETH 2.0. I think that's kind of like the 18 months meme of Lightning Network, but hopefully they're making more progress. It does seem like they're building, and I think, it's just natural that you're going to see people migrating away from these high fee chains and being like, I've only got $100. I'm gonna go where it's cheaper. I'm gonna go where there's opportunities, and I mean, that's kind of one of the beautiful things about crypto, is like giving people access to move their money and use their money any which way they want. So whether you're using BCH layer 1 to do payments and buy a beer, great, that's utility. Whether you're using Smart BCH and you're adding liquidity to DEX pools and you're earning some fees, great, you're using your money. Whether you're just degen trading between random coins and new launches and stuff like that, cool. That's one of the cool freedom things that you've got access to as a result of cryptocurrency. And I mean, when you look at this from a traditional finance standpoint, you wouldn't be able to do this. Moving money between banks, they don't like doing that. It's a pain in the ass. They do everything they can to make that process horrible. And I mean, the APY that you've got access to, within the crypto space, it's the stuff of bankers' nightmares or maybe their dreams, because they want that, but it's scaring the heck out of them. And I think, we've got a long ways to go still. So
we talked to so many bankers who just end up minting FlexUSD personally.
It's great.
So they're like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Okay, this is better than any of the products I've got access to. I work at a bank. I'll just mint a bunch of FlexUSD with my own personal money. Oh, great. Sounds good. Thanks.
Well, and I think like at some point you're going to start getting some of these banks that are like, well, why don't we just connect to the DeFi space and start offering this to our boomer crowd that aren't going to get in on this? I don't know. There's a long ways to go. It's still very early. We're all going to make it. And it's fun. But Yeah, I think the SmartBCH stuff very cool. I'm everyone at Bitcoin.com, we're super excited for the CoinFlex announcements, and having FlexUSD, having the Bitcoin.com with CoinFlex exchange added to it. I think it's going to be a great partnership, and I'm really excited to announce some of the cool stuff we're working on together to kind of make this whole ecosystem easier and more trustworthy, and yeah, it's going to be fun.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, great to have you on. Thanks, Corbin.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. We'll talk soon. See you,
Talk
man.
soon.